whether it's because of their sales staff or
Mhm.
themselves, there's a lack of accountability in the marketplace. People are afraid to hold themselves and or their sales team accountable because they're afraid they'll
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
Okay. And so tolerate they tolerate people being slow to respond.
Yep. Mhm.
All right. And working with a client, a trucking company in Lakeland, and I was coaching them, and I was saying, how many leads do you have that are more than 24 hours old? And none of them would
Yeah.
answer me.
They don't want to
And
tell
I
you.
said,
They
and
all
I would
are.
say, I'd
Yeah.
fire all of you. You mean to tell me your boss is writing a check to some marketing
Mhm.
company? They're driving leads
Mhm.
to you. And so here's number 5. You wanted the 5th reason why salespeople fail, business owners fail. The least amount of what they do in their day is sales.
Mhm. It's not prioritized.
If you were to sit down and look at what a salesperson does, what they have to do to sell usually gets 10 to 15% of their day.
Mhm.
All right. I was working with a client from California and I did some training. And then the CEO calls me, says, this has to be confidential. I won't mention them name because
Yeah.
it's confidential. I said, okay, great. She said, well, we're not getting the volume. I said, okay, give me the responsibilities you have with your salespeople. What are you asking them to do? And the single most important thing they were supposed to do was take an inbound lead and
Mhm.
call them. And based on the amount of volume that was being done, I said, your sales team is working an hour and a half a
Yeah.
day.
Yep.
And she goes, how can you figure out? I said, you got the
Yeah.
software. What else are they doing?
Yeah.
She said, what would you do? I said, well, I'd ask them that
Yeah.
first. And then I would create time blocking. From this time to this time, you're making calls. From this time to this time, you're
Mhm.
making calls. Now, they wanted everything put in a CRM, which was
Mhm.
great. After your call back, do your recording. So do all your calls first, take all your notes, and then stick them in your
Yep.
CRM. And so it's prep time is so important in sales.
Yes.
Okay. And having a solid I don't have to think
That
about
right.
it. I can get a proposal out in 5 to 7 minutes because I have everything on a
Mhm.
template on Word documents that all I have to do is take what I have as what's called a core story or my sales interview, take what it is they want to improve, take what they want to accomplish, determine timeline, and I can literally take what came out of their own mouth and put it on a
Mhm.
proposal. So from a time efficiency standpoint, I can be in real time. So when I'm doing my call block, the only uh, social media platform that's open is
Mhm.
LinkedIn because that's where my target
Right.
market is. And I have the kind where if somebody views my profile, I
That's right.
know it. They immediately go on my
Yep.
next call. So I'm not surfing and I'm not writing
Mhm.
comments. It's a real-time lead source
Mhm.
for me that goes right into my
Yeah.
calls. So I don't know if I'm
No,
answering your
you're
questions.
setting it up. I mean, there's so much to talk about here, and I'm having all these things pop in my brain as you're talking. It's like a synthesis of, I could even make it even more macro. Like when you have a lot of companies lack vision, but this vision, let's say you was in tune with everyone and everyone's on board. This is the true north of where we're headed. Well, that's going to dictate messaging. And
Right.
if you've got the messaging and you're really everyone's behind what it is that you're doing, how you affect your buyer and the value you bring, you build this effective process, a system of selling and marketing around the messaging as a vehicle to take it to your buyers.
Right.
And
Right.
you are become a practitioner of your craft so that you can utilize these tools properly and most effectively, and therefore managing your time effectively. You're going to have success that's abounding compared to how you're operating right now.